In this lesson we will be looking at some of the typical furniture used in Woozworld games. At the end of this lesson you will put all this information to the test and create the widely known game Limit 99. There is a lot to cover today, so I hope you're ready for it. Lesson 3. Timers, scoreboards and dice. Firstly, let's take a look at timers. Timers are very self-explanatory. They are responsible for keeping track of time for certain circuits, but most people don't know that the timer also acts as a stopwatch as well as a countdown timer. To change the mode of the timer, right-click the timer and click the stopwatch icon on the window shown. You can either choose the timer or stopwatch mode. Now let's take a look at what timers are capable of. Here I've wired a timer to lower blockade while the timer is ongoing and activate the cube when the timer is complete. Let's pause for a moment. Do you remember from the last lesson we spoke about continuous signals and pulse signals? Timers are capable of doing both when given certain conditions. When I click into the timer's output, you can see that the active output signal is mapped to the blockade, and that the complete output is mapped to the cube's activate input. So by wiring it out this way, this means while the timer is active, this produces a continuous signal which lowers the blockade. When the timer has completed its allotted time, the cube lights up because we told it to produce a signal when completed. Here's another example. In front of me I've mapped 3 buttons to the timer. Each button is responsible for starting, stopping and resetting the timer. You may already know what will happen next. By using each button individually, you will see that the timer is able to be started, stopped and reset with a few button interactions. Also, a quick note that some existing timer furniture may look different or act different. They more or less do the same job as regular timers, but for simplicity, stick with the regular timers for now until you are used to wiring more. For our next wired furniture we have scoreboards. Scoreboards are responsible for showing score values. They, like timers, can receive signals and also distribute signals when certain conditions are met. Here again we have 2 buttons mapped to the increase and decrease input of the scoreboard. By default, the score will be increased or decreased by 1 if a specific value has not been received. When you specify a value, the score will increase by that value, for instance using a dice to increase the value. Scoreboards are used in a lot of popular games for their uses of keeping score, but would you believe me if I said that scoreboards are considered a critical part of making your well-known games? You still don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. In front of me I have the game Solo Tap. To play, you simply step on a tile that's active to increase your score. For our demonstration, I've removed everything else other than the switch tiles and the scoreboard. The way Solo Tap and Double Tap works is that the scoreboard is producing a continuous signal to the tile switch to gain power when its value matches the condition allocated. When we look at the output window of the scoreboard, we see that there are 9 individual conditions to match. For instance, if the scoreboard score is 1, give power to the tile mapped to that condition, and so on. This is how the game's mechanics work. Scoreboards have a number of conditions to choose from, not just the equals to. To change the condition, click the pencil icon on the power output and click the drop-down menu. You will see a variety of different conditions for you to use. Now it's time to look at dice. Dice are very simple to understand. Like in real life, you can roll the dice to get an outcome. Again, like all wired furniture, they can receive and produce signals. Dice come in different types as you can see here. But the dice with numbers on them not only produce a signal, but can also produce a value. In front of me is a dice and a scoreboard. By mapping the dice's all output to the scoreboard, we can see that the value given by the dice appear on the scoreboard. Now it's time for the big test. You are tasked with wiring the popular game Limit 99. Here we have 1 scoreboard, 2 dice and 1 light cube switch. The aim of the game is so that the player must not be the last player to reach a score of 99. Each dice increases or decreases the score by the number rolled. When the scoreboard reaches 99, the cube should light up. I hope you're up for the challenge. Pause the video and try it yourself. To begin the solution, start by mapping one of the dice's all output to the increase input of the scoreboard. Then map the other dice's all output to the decrease input of the scoreboard. So far we are able to increase and decrease the score using the dice. To allow the cube to light up when the dice hits 99, we must tell the scoreboard to produce a signal when the score is 99. Click the scoreboard and create a condition where the scoreboard is looking for its score to be equal to 99. Map this to the activate input of the cube. When the scoreboard does not equal to 99, we should expect the cube to not be activated. To ensure this happens, we create a condition where every other number the scoreboard has should deactivate the cube. So we create an additional condition telling the scoreboard that when the number is not equal to 99, we produce a signal to deactivate the cube. From a glance, you might think this does nothing, but in fact that every time the scoreboard score value is updated, it produces a signal to deactivate the cube. But because the cube is deactivated already, you won't see any new change. And that's it. You've officially created one of Woozworld's most popular games. I sincerely hope this wasn't too difficult for you to follow. I'd love to hear your feedback to see how I can improve my videos in the hopes that it can be suited to everyone. Have a great day guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson.